Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. O spiritually powerful one, you can understand the movements of eternal time, which is the controlling form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because you are a self-realized person, you can see everything by the power of mystic vision. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Those who have reached the highest perfectional stage of mystic power and can see everything in the past, present and future are called Trikalagnyas. Similarly, the devotees of the Lord can see everything clearly that is in the revealed scriptures. The devotees of Lord Sri Krishna can very easily understand the signs of Krishna as well as the situation of the material and spiritual creations without difficulty. Devotees do not have to endeavor for any yoga siddhi or perfection in mystic powers. They are competent to understand everything by the grace of the Lord who is sitting in everyone's heart. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Vidura is inquiring from Maitreya. Tell me about the durations of life of those greatly learned living entities beyond the range of Kalpa, beyond the Devatas, especially those living in the Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. These four planetary systems are not submerged in the waters of devastation at the end of Brahma's day. Brahma's day ends and there is a partial dissolution of the universe. Only the middle and the lower planetary systems are submerged in water. The upper planetary systems, the four upper planetary systems, I request everyone's attention to what I'm speaking. Otherwise, if you get distracted, I also get distracted. And if I get distracted, everyone else gets distracted. So please pay full attention when I'm speaking. Also, the train of thought is lost when there is some distraction, disturbance. Sorry. Yes, the upper planetary systems are not dissolved in the waters of dissolution. But there is the night of Brahma when everyone in the upper planetary systems goes to sleep. But they can't sleep in their own planet. They enter the body of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu and they sleep. They go to sleep there. The night of Brahma. Including Brahma. Everyone goes to sleep. And then next day morning, they wake up and they have to begin again their duties. Brahma has to create every day of his day. Every day he has to do creation work. So when I first heard that Brahma is the creator, I thought he creates once and after that what does he do? So I didn't know that Brahma creates every day. There is this dissolution of the universe at the end of Brahma's day, night of Brahma. So these are all secrets that are revealed in the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita also. People, they know something here and there and they come to so many jump to so many conclusions and they make so many mistakes in there. They have so many misunderstandings about the real situation of this whole creation. So situation of the upper planets is different than the situation of the people in the middle and lower planets. That they don't die at the end of Brahma's day. So in those upper planetary systems, who is allowed to actually live there? Their duration of life is same as the duration of life of Brahma. So who can live there? Some fortunate souls. Who are they? They are the ones who are simply interested in self-realization. They have nothing to do with material facilities, material enjoyment, material opulence, material powers. They have nothing to do with any of these things. They're simply interested in self-realization. So great sages who on the lower planets, middle planets, earthly planets, they perform severe austerities in order to achieve self-realization. If they become free from all such desires for material enjoyment, then, and if they have not perfected their self-realization at the end of life on this earth planet or whichever lower planet, then they are promoted to these planets, one of these planets, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. And there is no disturbance by the asuras. There is no competition among the controllers. Like heavenly planets and below, the duration of the post is fixed and limited. The devatas living in the heavenly planets, they can at the most hold power or position up to 1 manvantara. That's a maximum for those on the heavenly planets and below. So every manvantara, in one day of Brahma there are 14 manvantaras. So every manvantara there is a change of Manu. Manu is also a post. There is a change of Indra. All the demigods, they have to give up their position. So at the end of the manvantara. Whereas the saintly persons, the sages, the powerful sages, the transcendentalists, those who are simply interested in self-realization, they live in those planets, higher planets. And what is their business? Day and night, what are they doing? Not night. Whole day, what are they doing? They're simply engaged in different activities for self-realization. Simply engaged in activities for self-realization. But among them, there are so many non-devotees. Non-devotees means they don't adopt the process of bhakti yoga. They are attached to some austerities. They are attached to some cultivation of knowledge. They are expert in argument, logic. So using this logic, they try to search what is the absolute truth, what is the self, what is Brahman, what is the ultimate reality. They are searching. And because they don't adopt the process of bhakti, their search goes on for so many years. You know, they have a long lifespan as long as they're living in the upper planets. But they don't achieve self-realization so easily. They have to keep on laboring very, very hard for millions of years. In the 10th chapter, if you carefully read Bhagavad Gita, everything is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada has explained all this. 10th chapter, 2nd verse. Those who have Bhagavad Gita can open. 2nd verse, purport, last sentence. So the last sentence, see the verse says, neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin. Krishna is speaking this verse. For in every respect I am the source of the demigods and the sages. Krishna existed before this creation. Krishna remains during the duration of the creation. In his position as Krishna. Of course, we are also eternal. We don't die. But we don't have the same body. We don't have the same position. We keep changing our position. We keep changing our body. Even the Devatas. Now here when Krishna says, I am the source of the demigods and the sages. The sages, the demigods refer to those on the heavenly planets who are controllers. The sages refer to those saintly persons on the upper planets. It could be even on the middle and lower planets, but particularly those on the upper planets. Even though they have a fantastic duration of life and they are very seriously interested in self-realization, they cannot understand Krishna. They cannot know Krishna as the ultimate source, as the ultimate cause of all causes. They cannot know. So the last sentence Prabhupada concludes in this purport. So even great sages agree. What is Atma? What is the Supreme? It is He whom we have to worship. What is the meaning of this sentence? Suddenly one sentence comes like this. It doesn't seem to be, so much easily intelligible. If you carefully read the whole purport is about the devotees. They can know Krishna. But the non-devotees, even if they are great sages, they are great yogis, great tapasvis, great jnanis, great fruitive workers, they cannot know Krishna. Unless one takes to devotional service, one can never know Krishna. Never. And they'll be searching and searching and searching and searching. What is the absolute truth? So here, when it is said, great sages agree. What is Atma? Here, Atma refers to the self. By Prabhupada's mercy, we know two kinds of Atma. The individual living entity and the Supreme Personality of God. But this is not easily understood or known by the non-devotees. They think something is there. Atma, 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 Brahman, self. But they don't know what it is. What are the details? Whether it is a person, or is it a substance, or is it energy, or it's some light. What it is? What is that Atma? What is the Supreme? Something called Supreme. They say Atma. Some places in the scriptures. What is that Atma? What is that Supreme? Ultimately, they come to understand that Atma or Supreme or whatever that Supreme, we have to worship that Supreme. That Supreme we have to worship. So when they don't know what is Atma or what is Supreme or what is the ultimate reality, how can they engage in worship? So their worship has no actually solid basis. Whereas devotees, we know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the Supreme Soul. We just worship Krishna. Finished. Over. That's why these non-devotees, they sometimes worship some powerful devatas. Sometimes they worship great sages. Sometimes they worship themselves thinking, I am the self. Aham grahopasana. Prabhupada mentions this in the 9th chapter, 15th verse purport. So all kinds of worship are there in this world. Krishna summarizes that in the 17th chapter. Yajante satvika devan yaksha rakshamsi rakshasaha bhuta preta ganamschanye yajante tamasajanaha. According to the mode of material nature they are situated in, different people worship different personalities. Because scriptures say you have to worship only the Supreme everywhere. You have to worship the Supreme. But for devotees, it's very clear. Krishna is the Supreme. Worship Krishna. Finished. Over. Very easy. Very, very easy. But for non-devotees, for other transcendentalists, they don't know. This is the reality. They don't know. They always say Brahman, Atma, Supreme, Absolute Truth, Param Satya. They talk only in such terms, but they really don't know who is Supreme. That's what Prabhupada says here. What is Atma? What is Supreme? It is He whom we have to worship. They don't know whether it's a person or energy or something. We do not know, something beyond person, beyond energy. We do not know. So, Maitreya is being addressed as Bhagavan, spiritually powerful one. So Prabhupada says in the purport, those who have reached the highest perfectional stage of mystic power and can see everything in the past, present, future are called Trikalagnyas. They can see the past, present and future. How is it that they can see the future? Past and present, okay, understandable. Present, something that is happening. Past is something that has already happened. Okay, they can see that. How they can see the future? So, if it is said they can see the future, then people doubt whether the living entities have got a free will, whether they really can exercise their free will. It seems like, no? If they can see the future, that means they know what we are going to do in the future, each one of us. That's how they know the future. That's how we think they know the future. So what's the answer to this? That we have our free will. At the same time, they can see the future of each one of us. So how to reconcile this? Seems impossible, no? To reconcile. Something is wrong. It is important to note that we are all controlled completely by Kala. And Kala is described by Prabhupada here. In the verse itself it is given. Eternal time is a controlling form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Through Kala, Krishna controls every embodied living entity. This body, including, up to Brahma, everybody has got a material body. That material body completely works under the control of Kala. That means there is a fixed duration that material body is going to exist. After that, that body is finished, everything pertaining to the body is actually meaningless. So when a Trikalagnya sees your future, he's not bothered about what all you do in this body, material activities. You can do this, you can do that, you can buy this car, you can spend your money in some other way. He's not going to see all that. That you have your free will and you exercise it. He's not interested in that. All he cares to know is when death comes, has that got any relevance? After death, nothing at all. It has got no relevance. It's not important. It's not important. So they don't go into those details. Neither they are interested nor it is relevant. Is it important to know all those details about people's life? Our thinking and our understanding about our future is limited to our material activities. Especially those who are not transcendentalists. They only think of the material activities and the material gain. That material gain is insignificant. When you consider eternal life, it is insignificant. Prabhupada says in 8th chapter 1 purport, Brahma's lifespan may seem to be fantastically long by the calculation that is given in that verse. What is that 8th chapter verse? Sahasra yuga paryantam aharyad brahmano viduhu. That verse, 17th verse. Yeah, 17th verse. In that purport, Prabhupada writes, he calculates Brahma's actual lifespan according to our calculation is 311 trillion and 40 billion earth years. Then he says, by these calculations, the life of Brahma seems fantastic and interminable. But from the viewpoint of eternity, it is as brief as a lightning flash. This is from Mahavishnu's point of view. Mahavishnu is breathing out. So many universes come out of his skin holes. And they remain as long as he does not take back his breath. So he's breathed out. Finished. Everything is finished. So he's breathing. Normally he's breathing. And these living entities, they think we have fantastic long lifespan, make so many plans and enjoying this way, that way. Everything is going to be finished. Don't be foolish. Don't waste time. Prabhupada says, when we say the regulative principle, no gambling, Prabhupada also says sometimes no gambling means no frivolous sports, no frivolous activities. Why? Because time is very precious in this human form of life. Don't waste time with all these frivolous activities, frivolous sports. Spend every moment for Krishna consciousness. So, when from the eternity point of view, even Brahma's lifespan is like a flash of lightning. Of what value is our 100 years? It is nothing. So therefore, you have to be very, very, very careful how you spend your time. How you spend your time. Unless you got a very solid program to spend all your time in Krishna consciousness or Krishna conscious activities, you are missing some great opportunity, which is not available even for those in the upper planetary systems, those living in Brahmaloka also, they are busy searching for the absolute. They are busy with their austerities, their study, their discussions. But they do not know. They are very carefully utilizing their time only in self-realization activities. Yeah, that is true. They don't waste their time in any material activities. But unless they take to bhakti, they'll remain, ignorant about who or what is the Supreme. They'll not know. So, when somebody like Prabhupada comes to this world from Krishna Loka, from the spiritual world, they come to this world. Then, whoever comes in contact with them, with such a pure devotee, Prabhupada or Narad Muni, they are very, 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 very fortunate, because then they get a clue they get direct understanding. What is that Supreme? Who is Supreme? Directly they'll be told, Krishna is the Supreme, simply worship Him. Don't waste time. That's our position. You see, Narad Muni is wandering throughout the universe. Now somebody may think Narad Muni is actually Devarshi. He is a sage amongst the demigods. So we would think that demigods will be serious about self-realization or spiritual activities, or at least they'll show interest when Narad Muni tries to preach. Actually, Narad Muni doesn't get somebody who is interested in hearing his preaching or joining his Sankirtan. He doesn't get so many people. So what does he do? He keeps on traveling, searching for some interested person, interested party. That's what he's doing. Because the others, especially the ones in the upper planets, if they see Narad Muni from distance, they will do Namaskar and immediately go away. I think he will start his preaching. So, Narad Muni is not interested in discussing anything about material activities, pious activities, what is happening that place, what is happening this place, what happened to this person, that person. He is not interested in any of those things. He is just interested in talking about Krishna, Sankirtan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what does he say? Narad Muni bajai veena Radhika Ramana name. He is simply wandering everywhere, singing the glories of Krishna. So Prabhupada did the same thing, what Narad Muni does. Everywhere he would go, he would discuss only Krishna consciousness. So in India, when he was preaching till about 1965, he didn't find so many interested people. There were some interested people, but they'll always be, on the guard that they don't spend too much time with Prabhupada. Because they will have their business, they will have their other things. They are also interested, they're pious people, they're interested in hearing Bhagavatam, getting blessings of a saintly person. Yeah. But they don't want to sit and discuss every day. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. No. Time nahi hai hamare paas, Swamiji. So Prabhupada went to America. Of course, he had his spiritual master's order to preach in the Western countries. But in the West, it was totally different. There were a whole bunch of confused young boys and girls who are interested in spirituality, but they are not having proper direction. So Prabhupada decided to try preaching to them. And it was very, 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 very successful. It was the starting point of this whole Krishna conscious movement. See, that's why saintly persons, They keep wandering, they keep traveling, searching. Like Narad Muni found one Mrigari, one hunter. Why did he take interest in that hunter? Because he was interested in Krishna consciousness. Because he was interested in Krishna consciousness. That's why. So, it's not easy to preach to people who are not enlightened in devotional service, who do not know about devotional service, the value of devotional service. That's why we generally say, discuss Bhagavatam among devotees. Discuss Bhagavatam among devotees. So these Trikalajnas, they can see the past, present and future. The future, they are seeing how everything is going to be completely destroyed. Whatever people are engaged in, material activities, everything is going to be finished. If at all there is some effect of the present activity in the future, it is only entanglement, it is only bondage for those who are engaged in material activities. So they are not interested in the details. What material activity have you done? Whether you have done pious activity, whether you are doing sinful activities, they are not interested in that. Both are binding, pious and sinful. They are interested in Krishna consciousness. And they know, those who are engaged in Krishna consciousness, Krishna takes charge of their life. And their future is very, very, very bright, very secure. They are candidates for going back to Godhead. In case they cannot go back to Godhead at the end of one life, then they continue their devotional service in their next life, and Krishna is going to ensure that sooner or later they will go back to Godhead. So their future is, they are candidates for going back to Godhead. And what about the future of all others? Some bekar, all waste of time. Like children playing with toys. Your parents were interested exactly how the child is playing with the toy. That's not important at all. Something stupid, foolish it will do. After all, it's not having so much developed intelligence. So let it play sometime. After some time, when it is over, band karo, sir. Keep everything aside. Like, at least when we were children, when we go to a beach, then with that sand we can build so many structures. Sometimes when we are not very far from the shore, then one tidal wave will come and finish off everything you have built. Even if it is little far away, 1 hour is over, parents will say, Abhi chalo, ghar chalo. What will happen to all that I have built? Sometimes children will start crying, everything I have done, I have to leave and go. So that is the way the transcendentalists see that all our activities, even if it has got some repercussion in the future, it is all bondage, meant for bondage in this material world. There is nothing much to be said about it. And devotees, they are gradually becoming liberated. They gradually become liberated. And they are simply looking forward to going back to Godhead, coming to the spiritual position of eternal devotional service. So in this way, devotees know past, present, future. They know the past, present, future. And one more point here is, the devotees can see everything clearly that is revealed in the scriptures. From the scriptures we know everything. Just like Prabhupada described Kali Yuga, as it progresses, what will be the condition of people. All from the Bhagavatam 12th canto. So devotees were very surprised when they heard that. So then Prabhupada read some portions of 12th canto and explained. That's one conversation you can see in the folio. Prabhupada explained what is the future. So these saintly persons, Vedavyasa, he is compiling Bhagavatam. He is telling in future there is going to be an incarnation of Buddha, an incarnation of Kalki. So it's already recorded. So he could see the future. They can see the future because they are aware of the Lord's plan. The Lord is going to incarnate. They are aware of that. Because they are on the spiritual plane. They are on the spiritual plane. That's how they know the future in this sense. They know the future. And other details is not important. Neither they are interested in knowing, nor is it important. They may not be able to tell exactly the details of all stupid, nonsensical material activities we do. But is it important for them? It's not important. So when it is said, they know the past, present and future, particularly future, it is this fact that time is going to destroy everything and nothing will remain. So it's not of any consequence. What we do, materially what we do, is not of any consequence. And this we should always remember. We may have very high estimation of different material activities we are doing, and we think we have a very bright future. But all those material activities are useless. From a spiritual perspective, they're useless. This we should always remember. I'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.